Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you have not already, it would be fantastic if you could click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, that is fresh out the oven, that is piping hot. We're making a broccoli bake. Now today, we're making a sauce with a cream, tomatoes, garlic, some oregano, basil. I'm using some goat's cheese. You could use a different cheese in there if you wanted, like some mozzarella or parmesan. And then we've got a beautiful crumble topping. So we're going to make it in 3 parts. Do our broccoli, do the sauce, do the crumble topping, get it all together, pop it in the oven. It's done. It's really delicious. Enough chatting. Let's go and do it. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to make this in 3 parts. The first part is to get our broccoli ready. Second part is to make our sauce. The third part is to make our crumble topping. So what I've got here is I've got a little touch of water in there, half a centimetre maybe, and I've prepared our broccoli. I've cut it. I like to keep as much stalk on as I can. I like it nice and long. Some people cut it about there. Such a waste really, because that's all goodness going on there. I'm going to put a little bit, just a little bit of salt in there, and we're going to just get that on the stove on a high heat for about 4 minutes only with a lid on. And then we're going to drain it off and set it aside. You don't want to overcook it because we are going to cook this again in the oven. So about 4 minutes is going to be fine. Lid on. I'll do that. Let's move on to the next stage. There we go. Just a few minutes. Like I say, 4 minutes. That's enough for me. They're still nice and firm. So that's it. Let's drain them off, set it aside, move on. Okay, I've got a pan here, which I'm going to use. Like a little wok. You need a frying pan or a saucepan. I've got some olive oil in there. You can use any oil that you like. We're going to start off by putting in some onions. I've got a kind of medium-sized chopped red onion there. Again, use brown or use white. I've got some chopped garlic. Maybe 2 or 3 cloves. In that goes. And then I'm going to add some seasoning. I've got some salt and black pepper, and then I've got equal parts, which are like a teaspoon maybe, of dried basil and dried oregano. So they can all go in right now. And totally optional, here I've got some green olives. I just like them in there. Taken the stones out, just broken them and put the stones aside. In they go. Black olives also work, of course. Simply what we need to do is, we're on a kind of medium type of heat. Let's cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes. Stirring often, and then we come back and move on to the next part. These are starting to cook really nicely. We've got a lovely aroma coming out of there. Now, of course, I've used dried basil and oregano, or basil and oregano, as some of you guys say. But you can use anything you like. I mean, you could turn this into a bit of a Mexican vibe and add a bit of cayenne, some cumin, some paprika like that, or rosemary, thyme. You can go any way you like with it. I'm just going this way today. Okay. At this point, I'm going to add here, I've got a can or a tin of tomatoes, which I just roughly chopped. They were whole. I just roughly chopped them with my knife. So for this sauce, I'm actually adding tomatoes and cream, and we're going to add quite a lot of cheese as well. So let's give this a nice mix. I'm going to lower the heat down now. Not to a simmer, but you know, above a simmer. And let's cook this now for about 5 to 6 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then. So as you can see, this has come together absolutely beautifully. You could, if you want, add some tomato paste or puree. I don't find it necessary. What we're going to do now is I'm going to add some cream. This is the cream I'm using, and it's a cooking cream. It's a thick UHT long life cream. I'm going to get that in. So that's about half the amount of the tomatoes, so like half a can, if that makes sense. You can use any type of cream you like. You can use a single cream, fresh single cream, or a double cream. turn the heat up on that to maximum now. Now I'm going to add some cheese. Now you can add any cheese that you like a mozzarella or a cheddar or something like that. Today I'm actually going to use some goat's cheese. I've got a lovely piece of goat's cheese there, which I'm just going to break up and drop in as this boils. I mean, don't use goat's cheese unless you're a big fan, because it does have a very distinctive flavour. But a mozzarella will work really well. Nice and stringy. Or you could get some parmesan cheese in here if you wanted. That would also work. So in goes the last of that. Reducing the heat down again to low. And this sauce is pretty much done. What we need to do now is just cook that for about 4 minutes or 3 minutes, just so it kind of breaks that cheese down. The heat will melt the cheese in there. So I'll let that go. So our broccoli's done, our sauce is done. Now we're just going to move on to the crumble topping. Let's go and do that. Okay, so for our crumble topping, what we're going to need, two main ingredients. You're going to need some breadcrumbs. I've got a fine breadcrumb there, and I've got some grated mozzarella cheese. For this type, you can do this completely vegan if you want, which is anti the sauce we've just made, of course. So I've got like equal parts of fine breadcrumbs and mozzarella cheese or cheddar cheese. Then you can add what you like. I've then got some flaked almonds, I've got a few sunflower seeds, and I've got some pine nuts. But you can use peanuts, cashew nuts, you can put oats in. You can even, believe it or not, put cornflakes in. You can get some cornflakes and put them in. They actually work really well. So what we need to do is just mix that together. Now that looks pretty dry, doesn't it? That's why we're going to add some olive oil. A nice quality olive oil in there is always good. And a little splash or two of soy sauce. Now go back in with your hands, and that will kind of bring it together a little bit. And as you can see, you've got a really beautiful, it's kind of really moist now, crumble topping. So, we're all done, aren't we? So we've got our broccoli cooked. Our crumble topping's finished, and our sauce is done. We've just got to get this together. Let's do that. Right, so as you can see, I've got a glass oven-proof dish. It can be glass, it could be ceramic, or it could be metal. That's up to you guys, as long as it can go in the oven. Our broccoli's in there. You can see it's kind of still, kind of got a bit of a bite to it. Absolutely delicious. What we're going to do now, we're just going to get a bit of our sauce on there. A lovely sauce that we just made, which is absolutely delicious. If you've got any left over of this, this is great with a little pasta or something. Wonderful. There you go. And then simply to that we're going to add our beautiful crumble. I like to give it a generous crumble topping, maybe 1/2 centimetre or so. What's that? Whatever that is. I'm not really sure what that is, but like that. Now everything in here is cooked, as you know, guys. We've just got to bring this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into my preheated oven, which I'm only going to heat from the bottom. If you heat it from the top, it's likely to burn there. So it's going to go in my oven for about 8 minutes on full blast. I'm just going full blast on my oven, but heated from below. You know kind of what we're looking for. We're just trying to bring it together, get a nice kind of crumble kind of touch to the top, so it's slightly crispy on the top. Everything's cooked. You could eat it right now, in fact. Pop that in your oven. I'll be back when mine's ready. And there we go. That's straight out of the oven. That is, I mean, Really, really hot, that is. Was in my oven about 8 or 9 minutes, but we've got really powerful ovens here. But you know what we're looking for, like I say, that nice crunchy, crumbly top. Let me just taste a bit of that. It's delicious. Play around with it. Get some sesame seeds in there or some other kind of grains like that. They really work. Also really good for you. That sauce that we've done with that goat's cheese, again, use any cheese you like. The tomatoes and the cream, wonderful. And of course, we've got our broccoli. You can, of course, do that with maybe some cauliflower or something. Anyway, enough chatting. That's it. Hope you enjoy it. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you soon. Lots of love.